Well, good morning, and thank you for joining us. I am indeed honored to stand with the individuals represented here, the Lieutenant Governor, the Speaker, the leadership of both chambers, to announce and give you information regarding House Bill 1405. As you know, most of our efforts the past couple of budgetary sessions have been focused on reducing spending, cutting costs as it matches our economy. But there's a day coming, and we hope very soon, when our economy is going to grow again and expand. And it is the intent and certainly the desire of the individuals represented here that our tax code in Georgia meet that new growth and maximize it, so that in the future Georgia retains its position as one of the fastest growing states, not only among population but also among jobs and industry, bringing good sustainable jobs to Georgia. And to do that, I think we all agree it's time to modernize and update our current tax code. It's been a number of years since this has been attempted, and to do so, we are asking the members of the body to consider this. In fact, I just left Ways and Means. Our chairman of Ways and Means is there now hearing a number of measures where we presented this bill to allow for the appointment of a special counsel on tax reform and fairness for Georgia that will be made up of economists, two governors, former governors, and other leaders, business leaders throughout the state, and some open appointments by both the Lieutenant Governor and the Speaker to give us ideas to, if they need critical analysis on things we've done in the past, we want to hear that. If they have ideas to how to improve it, we want to hear it. But try to free these individuals up from the politics of this building so that they are able to give us what they think are their best case scenario for a modernized, efficient, fair, and flat tax system for Georgia going forward. I'm excited about this. I think it's one of the most progressive things we have done in several years. And if we're able to get this through, I think when the General Assembly reconvenes next January, this could be very well the topic of discussion as we have Georgians something to look forward to. I'm honored to have as a co-sponsor on this bill a great proponent of this, and really one who's allowed me to be involved in this, and that's the Speaker of the House, Representative David Ralston, and I'm going to turn the microphone over to him. Speaker.
Thank you, Mr. Leader, and thank all of you for being here today. And I want to, first of all, say how pleased I am to be joined by the Lieutenant Governor and the Senate leadership from whom you will hear in a moment. I think this is a tremendous joint effort on the part of both the House and the Senate. I believe, as the leader mentioned, we've had a lot of discussion about budget cuts this year. I think the time to undertake this kind of project is really when times are not so good, and that's what we're doing. We tend to get a little complacent in government and business and all areas when times are good. I think that the challenges that we face make this a good environment to start this discussion. This is not simply going to be an effort to create a task force or a study committee or something that will bring back ideas that we will discard. We intend to take these the ideas that's produced by this council in a very aggressive way come next session after their work that will commence after this session is over. Use those ideas and put those ideas into action. I think that Georgians do expect us to build a tax code that will withstand future challenges that we have experienced now with the dip in the sales tax revenues that we've experienced. And I think this is the kind of plan that will enable us to build a policy that will withstand downturns in the economy to the extent that we can. And I'm excited about this project, and I think the people of Georgia will be. And I'm frankly very excited to start having this discussion with Georgians at the end of the session. So with that, I'm very honored to introduce the Majority Leader of the Senate, who has been a proponent of tax reform for a long time, Senator Chip Rogers.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I share and echo the sentiments, and I'm honored to be here with this group as we look towards an issue that I think Georgians have been clamoring for quite some time. If you think about our current tax system and where we are today, we have a broken property tax system that's the relic of a 19th century agrarian economy. We have a personal income tax system that is so closely tied with the unemployment figures that just when Georgians are hurting, the state budget hurts as well. A personal income tax system whose top rate is higher than what it is in Massachusetts. We have a corporate income tax system that discourages companies from locating in Georgia. And we have a sales tax system that exempts more products and services than it actually taxes. I think as you look across Georgia's tax system, I don't think anyone would agree this is a tax system that is good for a 21st century economy. So what we certainly hope comes out of this commission and out of the General Assembly next year is a tax system that promotes growth, that helps grow our economy, and doesn't stand in the way of those things that we know work: entrepreneurship, hard work, and rewarding people who take those risks. So we want a tax system that works for Georgia. I would submit the current tax system we have does not work for Georgia, and I am very anxious to become engaged in this process. And with that, I would like to turn it over to the Lieutenant Governor of the state of Georgia, Casey Cagle.
Great. Well, thank you, Chip. Thank each of you for being here. It's an honor for me as well to join both our colleagues in the House and obviously the Senate coming together. And as you've witnessed throughout this session, there's been great cooperation between both houses, and the Speaker has created a spirit of unity that has been very refreshing, and it has enabled us to deal with some of the great issues that we have faced certainly this session. I will tell you that this particular legislation I'm extremely excited about. As you have already heard, we do need reform, and businesses across the state have been deleveraging and reinventing themselves. Government is doing the same thing. This cycle certainly has been about how we can systemically change our spending habits and reinvent ourselves in order to create the efficiencies to scale that is so important. But we have to look forward as the economy begins to rebound and how the economy is going to look moving forward. And the tax code needs to reflect that. At the end of the day, we want people employed, and we want to continue to be a low-tax state, and we're very proud of our position as a low-tax state. But we can certainly do things in a way that will create more entrepreneurial-minded people to locate here and create their dreams and opportunities here in our great state. That is what we have prided ourselves in. This is certainly the right venue by which you conduct and engage into a very serious discussion about tax policy. It's not midstream in the session, but it's through the interim. And by having both governors, former governors at the table along with economists that can really look and vet this process in a time certain capacity to where we can come back next session and look at this in a very meaningful way, I think is right in time, and we have the right players in place as well. So it's an honor for me to join alongside the Speaker and the leadership of both the House and the Senate as we move forward looking to where the future is going to be. And I think this is what is symbolic about the legislation. We know the task is at hand today, but we also are not taking our eyes off of the future and where it is we want to be and how we want to position Georgia. Obviously, today we had some very discouraging news again in unemployment, and it begs the question that we've got to be prepared and very focused and committed to job growth within our state, and certainly tax policy is a huge piece of that, and this is very fitting that we're moving forward this session on putting the pieces in place to make sure that we're very competitive. And with that, I'll turn it back over to the Majority Leader of the House.